3D Boxing here at Chato's Boxing Gym with Ramon Cardenas, top WBA contender at 118 pounds. How's it going, champ?
Good, man. How about yourself? How you doing?
Doing really good. Now, you've been out of the ring since August, but let's go back to August. The Marvin Solano fight. Given the level of opposition, is that the best performance of your career?
Yeah, I mean, you could say, like I could say, you could say, because he did have the best record and everything. I personally feel like at my weight, as I'm at right now, I think my performances are gonna go up, better and better with the opposition. And it's like anything, you have to compete to your level. You can't just decrease.
I talked to you about a year ago. You told me you could go down to 118. I was skeptical. You did it, and you had a career best performance. Do you feel comfortable at 18, and do you feel better at 118 than at 122?
No, I feel way comfortable at 118. It was crazy because I made 118 the night before. So like the night before weigh-ins, I was 118.6.
He always looks like a featherweight to me because I've been walking around with featherweight, right? Yeah. 126. And you tell me you can make 118. I was like, oh. And he did it, and you looked spectacular. And that's a weight that you feel you can say you feel comfortable at it.
Yeah, I do. It's one of those things where I was younger, so I was a little bit more like immature in the sense of like you don't really know how to diet properly. You don't know how to like just be more disciplined when it comes to like not eating let's say a snack here, a snack there. As I gotten older, I've gotten more disciplined with that snack, no, put it over there, or those bag of chips, you know what, leave them there, stuff like that. And that's literally what helped me a lot, just being able to be a little bit more disciplined and kind of like watch what I eat at all times.
So you're 20-1 now. The Solano fight said it was a big win for you. There's been a lot of rumors. Your name has been linked to Melvin Lopez fight, the top two guys by the WBA. Where does that stand, and when do you expect to be back in the ring next?
As of right now, I don't know where that fight stands. I got injured. I actually had a fractured bone
in your hand, your wrist.
In my hand.
Yeah.
So I was out for at least. The doctor told me 4 weeks of like recuperation and another 4 weeks of like therapy. So that was a total of like 4 months right there. No, 2 months. And so that was one thing. That fight happened. That fight was kind of scheduled, and all of a sudden I injured myself. So that fight kind of like nothing ever happened to it. Basically now I'm fighting hopefully in the Alamodome July 9th under the Mark Maxayo and Rivada's card. I'll be fighting
right here, Alamodome, San Antonio.
I'll be fighting a Venezuelan kid. That would be like the comeback the comeback trail to kind of get back on track of my career.
Because it'll be almost a year layoff in between fights, right? You've been out of the ring in August, and it'll be almost a year, 11 months.
Yeah, about to be a month. It'll be a month. I don't necessarily feel it though. It's crazy because I'm kind of constantly in the gym. I'm never really like stopped training. I'm constantly in the gym, so it's one of those things where the amateur sometimes you would fight 1 time a year, sometimes you fight 40 times a year. But it's just one of those things where you kind of have to show up. No matter what, you can be 2 years off, but you gotta act like you fought last week or so,
And I want to ask you about that, right? Because you didn't have a major push behind you. You kind of built yourself up. You built your own career. To get that close to fighting the title eliminator and then get injured, how disappointing was that at that time?
No, it's not disappointing. I think it's more disappointing whenever, it's like I always tell people, I know what I'm worth for. I know how I did my career, how I've been doing my career. So for me, it's really just a matter of time. You know what I mean? So for me, it's different. Like I'm willing to start again. I'm willing to start again because I already know the path. I know it's difficult, but it's actually a very beautiful path as well. So it's one of those things where I'm not scared of starting over. I'm never scared of starting over. I'm always willing to take the challenge. And so I mean, again, it's not something that I'm you could say scared of or disappointed about. It just wasn't my turn this time. You gotta wait. Once that fight, or if I have to fight somebody else for the world title eliminator, I will. If that fight presents itself again for the world title eliminator, I will take it again. I'll take it 100%. It's just one of those things.
I want to ask you, because you're WBA 118-pound champion, no joke. It's the monster now in a way. I mean, if you do get to a world title, you'll most likely be through the WBA. What's it like knowing that you have one of the pound-for-pound best guys in the sport waiting there, for you?
I mean, that's why we do this.
Yeah.
You don't do this to run from challenges. You don't do this to run from the best. personally me, I feel like I'm one of the best. You know, you have to have that mindset, and you can't be scared of, oh, this guy's top pound for pound. There's so many pound for pound lists in boxing right now, so it's just one of those things where it's just a number. But hey, you know, like he does have a really tough fight coming up with Donaire.
Wanted to ask you about that.
Who knows? Who knows if he gets past him?
The first fight was, I think it was 2020, was it? It was about Fight of the Year candidate that year. Who do you think's gonna win that? Inoue or Donaire? Donaire's not a joke. You can never just.
I think it's gonna be really good the first 4 rounds. And I told this to somebody earlier or the other day. I said I give it 4 rounds. Those 4 rounds are gonna tell the rest of the fight. The first 4 rounds are gonna really put a stamp on like the rest of the fight. I think that if Donaire is able to, let's say it becomes a really good fight, Donaire's gonna take more out of him. Because Donaire took something out of him in the last fight.
Donaire's a naturally bigger guy. But Donaire is, I think he's 38 or 39 now. 39, he's getting up there. Does he still have the legs to go?
I think he does. Because nowadays 39 is not
What it used to be.
what it used to be. Nowadays 39 is gonna be 25 or 24. You know, like with the recuperation, with the stuff that you have nowadays to recoup and everything, you'll be fine. I think again, like I said, I think if he gets past Donaire, great, but he has to knock him out in order for Donaire not to take a little bit more out of him. Because again, the last fight he took something out of him. He got injured with the eye.
Yeah.
Those injuries right here, the eyes, anything that has to do with really anything with your face, that at least takes off a few years of career, 100%.
So you're kind of 50. You're not really picking a win. You're kind of 50-50 on it. Okay.
I'm saying the first 4 rounds
He's gonna dictate the fight.
Either or.
And I want to ask you, you could very well be the mandatory challenger for whoever wins that fight. Do you have a preference? You're like one of those guys say, stylistically, I'd rather fight Donaire, or I'd rather fight Inoue. Is there one you'd rather fight? Doesn't matter, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's honestly the one thing I was kind of, hoping for. If I would have fought, one, my mandatory, to be the mandatory, and then fight, then it's a win-win, because it's like I'm fighting for 3 world titles instead of just 1. So again, for me, it's preferably whichever. If I had to choose, I think I would have to lean towards, I don't know. I think I have to lean towards Inoue, because like I said, he's what people say is not great right now, so why not? Why not go for the best challenges there is?
There's no bigger, your weight class, around your weight class, there's no bigger challenge than Inoue. So, let's do this 100%.
Exactly,
Yeah.
there's nobody else. Like, you have other guys that are in the weight class as well, but you don't see nobody running towards him.
Paulie Malignaggi was in a similar situation as you. He built his way up and he finally got a world title shot. He's against the prime Miguel Cotto at 140 pounds. Like, well, let's just go all in, right? Like, if we're gonna go for a world title, might as well fight the best guy.
And then look what happened. He ended up becoming
You're a world champion,
two-time
world champion, yeah.
Like, Paulie's a prime example of, hey, sometimes you don't have the big backing, sometimes you don't have the golden boys, the top ranks, the BBCs behind you. But if you have heart and you have the willingness to want to get it, and you say, you know what, I'm going to get it by any means, I'm going to go wherever the hell I can fight, I'm going to fight. I think that leads a long way. And then eventually those companies will keep an eye on you. They'll be like, oh man, look at this kid, like he just came from nothing. Those are the ones that usually get hungry, the ones that didn't really have the same upbringing as everybody else. Those are the ones that actually, they come out and they're like, dude, I want to prove a point, like I'm here to prove a point.
So other thing I wanted to ask you about, one weight class south of you, 115, right here, June 25th, Bam Rodriguez and Sarang Desai. How do you see that fight going down?
I see that fight being a good fight. I think Bam right now,
Bam's unbeatable right now.
He's at another level right now. I think he's at another level right now where I think he'll be able to take out the other guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Sarang Desai.
Yeah, Sarang Desai. I didn't want to butcher it. Yeah, I think right now Bam, he's at another level where I think he'll take care of him. I still think Bam has to take, be a little bit cautious. This guy, again, from the past, he gets hard. The dude can punch.
Yeah.
So it's not like something like don't be weary. Be weary of his power, but I don't think there's nothing special about the kid. I mean, the guy, Bam, I think Bam will take care of him. I don't think he'll knock him out, but I think he'll beat him 12 side.
You see him moving up in weight classes, and he's so quick, and his angles are so precise. But moving up the weight really hasn't affected him. Like he can go up in the weight classes, Bam. So the only question is, how does his power translate? He was able to knock down Kudras, right? So what did you think of that performance?
I think he did good. I think the reason I think, well, what happened in that situation was I honestly feel like Bam was just on another level right there mentally. I think now that even jumped a little bit more. I think, like I said, I mean, I just think Bam's at another level right now where I don't see nobody messing with him at 115 until, what is it, 108, 115?
Yeah, he's anywhere from 108. I mean,
I don't see nobody.
108 to 115.
Even Gonzalez, Chocolatito Gonzalez.
You think he'd be Chocolatito?
I think
that's the one kind of like Chocolatito's such a legend. He's so offensively good. Like, how would that fight go? But
I think Bam beats him, just because of youth as well.
Yeah.
Being young helps a lot. I think again, like I think the youth, he has it on his side, and I don't think Chocolatito has it in his legs no more, where he can be catching Bam or mess with the angles as much.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has it in him no more. I think that would be the perfect fight to do next.
Well, that's the big fight. I mean, he'd have to get by so running side first, which is not an easy test, but assuming he does, I think Chocolatito would be the biggest fight. Ramon Cardenas from San Antonio, Texas. You're gonna be fighting at the Alamodome. What's that like?
I wouldn't say dream come true yet because I want to be the main event. But it's a big goal, like accomplished for mine. Because I always told myself I'm gonna fight there. I didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I knew I was gonna fight there. And now I'm fighting there, so it's a really, it's a big accomplishment for myself. I can tell my kids one day when I have kids, hey, look, I fought there. You know what I mean? Not everybody can say that. Not everybody can say they fought the Alamodome. So.
And you're gonna get that win, and then you'll be a world champion in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
Ramon Cardenas, here at Chatos Boxing Gym in San Antonio. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram, you can find me at Dinamita Cardenas. On Twitter, I believe the same, Dinamita Cardenas, if not RD Cardenas 6. And then Facebook, Ramon Dinamita Cardenas.
God bless you. Thank you.